Namaskar. Students, today also we have come with another topic from Grade 10 English. Actually, we are in Unit 5, but in Unit 3 we have missed one content. Do you remember that? So that was a grammar content, and the content is reporting questions. That's written there. We missed this lesson when we taught Unit 3. So today we are doing this, and the next day we'll again start Unit 5. You talked about reporting statements, you talked about reporting commands, and today we are going to talk about reporting questions. And when we report questions too, we report in two different ways. One is direct speech and another is indirect speech. And today we'll learn how to report questions in direct speech and in indirect speech. We'll look at the examples. We will change the examples of direct questions into indirect questions. We go through the exercises given in the textbook and we'll finish the lesson. So you can look at your book as well. It's on page number 23 and the topic is grammar. And in A, you see engage yourself there, and you can see these things there in the textbook. Okay. So it's taken out from the textbook. Either you look at the paper here or you look at your textbook, whatever you do, but when you listen and when you watch, please listen to me very carefully so that you will get the point, right? So what does the instruction say? Read the following excerpt from the story above and identify who the speaker was. Do you remember that story in Unit 3? That was the ant and the grasshopper. It's on page number 23 in your textbook. What does it say? So it says that these are the things, they are taken out from the textbook, from that story in your textbook. You have to find out who said that. For example, how are you? I asked. So that question is from the textbook. It's on page number 23. If you look at line number 7, how are you? I asked. So, who said that? Who the speaker was? It is saying this, right? So, there are different characters in the story. So, if you look at there, so you see the word I there. So, the I in that story means the ant and the grasshopper. How are you? I asked. It is written there. So, that I means the person who said that was the narrator. It was the narrator, right? Okay, and I'm not in hilarious spirit, he answered. So it's on page number 23. Okay, so it's just between two paragraphs on page number 23. So these are taken from there. So this was said by George. George means one of the character of the story. Is it Tom again? So it's again the narrator. Yes, it's Tom again. So it was said by George. Why don't you chalk him? It's again the narrator. And you must know by now that he is quite hopeless, George. Okay, so these are the things taken from the story. And the person who said those things are they, either the narrator or George. So that was the one task, identify the speaker of these things there. So that was the first task given there in the exercise. Now the next thing is, okay, so what it says in your textbook is on page number 27 in 2, it says, Sangeet reported the conversation to his teacher. Observe how he reported it. Means this was the conversation between the narrator and George, the characters of the story of the ant and the grasshopper. Now, in number 2, on page number 27, it says that, okay, so it says that Sangeet means one of the student reported all those things to the whole class, like this. Now, your task is, you have to just read that reported part and observe how the reporting was done, right? So we'll do that together. Here, how are you? I asked. Means who was I? The narrator or the writer of the story. So how is it reported? The narrator asked how he was. Means how are you is the question, right? How are you is the question, and it is reported by another person like this. Means the narrator asked how he was. So this is in direct speech and this is in indirect speech. Means it has been changed from direct question to indirect question. See, what's the difference? How are you is there, but how he was is here, right? Okay, the next one, I'm not in hilarious spirit, he answered. George, means it was said by George, I already told you earlier. George replied that he was not in hilarious spirit. This is statement. And remember what we did when we reported the statements in our previous lesson. I is changed into he because, so the subject of the reporting clause is he. He, George, is there. He was not in hilarious spirit. It's in present tense, it's in past tense. Remember the tense change, so that we need to do while reporting statements or questions or commands into reported speech. The next one, is it Tom again? He sighed. So there's a question, how is it reported here? The narrator asked if it was Tom again. So do you see if is there? In the earlier statement, that was there because it was a statement. Now if is there because it's a yes no question, and the question form is changed into statement form. The narrator asked if it was Tom again. If was it Tom again is not written there, and that is not to be written as well. It's actually the rule. The question form is changed into statement form. Okay, the narrator asked if it was Tom again. The next one, yes, it's Tom again. George answered positively, means George said yes, so it is reported positively. The next phrase has been written there. Why don't you chuck him? You have done everything in the world for him. The narrator advised George to chuck him. Why don't you chuck him? So although it looks like a question, the language function it serves is the suggestion, right? Why don't you chuck him means he is not actually asking the question, he is just suggesting the person to do that. So that has been reported in the similar way as we report the imperative sentences, right? You also did that in the previous class as well. The narrator advised George to chuck him means he is advising here with this structure, it's not the question. And there is a statement, we have done everything in the world for him. He also explained that, you can say, he also said that, you can also replace this word with said, explained that he had done everything in the world for him. You have done means here you refers to George, so you is changed into he, have done is changed into had done, means present perfect has been changed into past perfect. The last one, you must know by now that he is quite hopeless. He added that he had to know, must has been changed into had to. This is what we do in reported speech. Must is changed into had to. By then, by now is written there, we change now into then. That it's a statement and that is also there. He is quite hopeless is there, it's in present tense, and he was quite hopeless there, it's in past tense. Right? What we have finished doing now is, we looked for these phrases in the story, found out who said each of those sentences. Later on, we looked at how they are reported by another student. Right? So this is not the exercise, this is just for observation to find out how a statement is changed into reported speech, how a question is changed into reported speech. Now in the next task, we are going to try to change the questions into reported speech. The next exercise is from B and it's on page number 27, right? In your textbook, what it says is, match the direct speech in column A with the reported speech in column B. So these sentences are on the left and the answers for these sentences are on the right column. You can see, you can look at your book as well. Your task is just to match, but here we are not going to match. I am going to change these sentences into reported speech, and you will find out where that particular lies in column B, and you will know how, okay, you have to do the task. Actually, we are not going to do matching. You please look at me and the things we write, I write here, and you have to find out where that particular reported speech is given in your table in textbook, and you match yourself, right? So let's see. She said to me, where is Dolma? So what we do is, so let's say number A first. I'm not going to write that sentence, it's there. She said to me, where is Dolma? Do you remember what did we do when we reported statements? We generally used said that, told that. And do you remember what you did while reporting commands? Told, suggested, advised, requested, sort of things, right? Today we are going to learn to report questions. So what we do with questions? We ask questions. So the reporting verb is generally asked. Okay, so she said to me, we write she asked, okay, she asked. So who did she ask to? She asked me, because it says here she said to me. So she asked me. And in reporting statements, we needed that here, right? In reporting imperative sentences, we needed to here, TO2 here. But in reporting questions, particularly while reporting WS question, we don't need any connecting word there, neither that nor to. So we just change that question into indirect speech. But how do we do that? The question form is changed into the statement form. She asked me where. Now it's in question form, where is Dolma? If you change this, if you change the place of the verb, then it can be changed into the statement like form, where, and then we write subject first, and the verb is there, is. Do you remember how do we change the tense while we change into reported speech? We change present tense into past, means is changed into was, right? Where Dolma was. She asked me where Dolma was. Now compare this sentence and this one. She said to me, where is Dolma? She asked me where Dolma was, right? The question form is changed into statement form. Earlier in direct questions, WH word was there, verb was there, and another thing was there, let's say subject was there. But in reported speech, but in indirect speech, we write WH word there, then subject, and then verb in the respective past tense. Okay. Number B. So let's see. So where is that sentence? A. She asked me where Dolma was. It's on column B, the last. And you try to match that, right? But now you just look at the things that I'm doing here so that you'll be able to learn too, right? Again, the same thing. She said to me is she asked me, because we are trying to report questions. She asked me, right? Is he at home? Now there comes another problem. Are these two questions similar? Where is Dolma and is he at home? Are they similar? I don't think no. I don't think that. Means they are not similar, right? So it starts with where. Generally we call this type of questions WH questions because they start with that word. But here it is starting with an auxiliary verb. Means it's a yes-no question. So there's the difference between these two questions. So now remember, while reporting yes-no questions, we need another connecting word like that, to. What do you think? Which word do we need? You must have studied all those things in grade 8 and in grade 9 as well. Do you remember that? We can use two words, either if, or whether, right? So you can write either if here or whether here, WHETHER, okay. And another thing is same, means the question form is to be changed into statement form. If or whether, what is the subject? He. It's in third person, so there is no change. Is present tense, so what is the past form of is? Was. Okay. At home is there, you just write at home there. Okay. And look for this sentence in your textbook. Where is it? The first one on the column B. He asked her, no. The last third, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth sentence in your column B. She asked me if he was at home. If or whether means, so you will find that there and do match with that. Okay, number C, let's do that. Now you can do it yourself as well. So while I am doing here, you try to do it yourself as well. How do you say that? He said to me, he asked me, right? It's very simple question. So we use generally asked me. It's a WS question. So we just write how old. It's a question word, how old. They two together come and make a question form, how old. And you means what? You is the second person. Do you remember while we were talking about reporting statements, we were saying that the second person pronoun should be changed according to the subject or object of the reporting verb, right? So this is the reporting clause. What is the object? Me. So when he says you and when I report, what should I say for you? I. How old? I. And then are is used with you. The past form of are is were, but here we are using I, so we should use was. Tense is there, tense change is there because present is changed into past, but we are just agreeing that verb to the subject we are using. He asked me how old I was. It's the second sentence in your textbook in column B, right? And now let's do number D. You don't try to copy, you can do it yourself. You just look at me and listen to the explanation. Okay, number D is the head teacher said to me, can you come to school at 10 o'clock? Now the subject is the head teacher. The head teacher said to me is changed into asked. Okay, me is me, object. The head teacher asked me. So what is the question? It's a yes no question. So when we report yes no question, we just write either if or whether. In your examination, you can write one word as well. In your real life too, you can just use one word, not if or whether. We don't say that. The head teacher asked me if, whether. Then it's a yes no question, so we have used if or whether. What is the subject? You. So you is the second person pronoun, and according to the object of the reporting clause, me is there, so we change you into I. So what is the past form of can? Could. Come is changed into go. That is adverbial change type of thing. I could go to school, okay, at 10 o'clock, right? You just look at the change only, right? This is the change. Okay. Other things we have just repeated from the question. And where is the? So this sentence is in the third of column B. The head teacher asked me if I could go to school at 10 o'clock. Now number E. He said to her, "Where are you from?" Now the object is her. Remember that. He said to her means he asked her. Okay. Right? It's a WS question, so we don't write if or whether. We just write that WH word. WHER, if where. What is the subject? You. And what is the object now? Earlier we changed you into I. In D we changed you into I because the object was me. But now you is there, but the object is her. So what is the subject form of her? He asked her where. Can you say? Please try. C. Right? We just write C because the object is her. So we have changed you into C. The object is me, so we have changed you into I. He asked her where C, then R is used with I, but with C we used was, where she was from. The change is just this, where she was from. Where are you from? The indirect speech of that question in that context is where she was from. Now the last one, number F. So this answer, he asked her where she was from, is given in the first line of column B. You can just find out in your textbook as well. Now she says to him, can you please help me tomorrow? Now there is one thing, right? Another thing that you have to take notice of. So it's in past, so we used asked, said to, said to, said to, said to, all of them are in past. So when we used the reporting verb, we used asked, means in past tense. But here it says to, says to. How do we do that? Says to. If said to is asked, then says to is, whenever there is present tense, we use present tense, right? So now says to changes into asks, right? When you do that, okay, if you are reporting question, we change, okay, so asks, you can write asks, or, do you see there? Can you please help me tomorrow? What is it? It's a request. So you can write another, okay, reporting verb as well. Requests, not requested, not asked, because it's in present tense, right? She asks, requests. Who did she request? Him. So we just write that, him. Now, can you please help me tomorrow? Although it looks like a question, it looks like a yes no question, actually it's not a question, it's a request. So we use to here, to help, Bob is there, to help, me is changed into what? This is the first person, so the first person pronoun is changed into the third person pronoun according to the subject of the reporting clause. What is the subject? C, right? So me is changed into object form, so her, to help her. She asks or requests him to help her. So how do we change that tomorrow? The next day. The next day. It's a different one, right? Did you notice the difference? It's not actually the question, although it looks like a question. It's a request. So either you can report with the verb ask or report with the verb request directly, and we don't use e for that. So you have studied that reporting commands as well. We use the same thing, to and verb, and we have changed that me into her because the subject is she and the object form for she is her, and the tomorrow, the word tomorrow is changed into the next day. This is called adverbial change. Now I hope that you can do the exercise on page number 27. B1 means matching these questions with their correct reported speech there in column B. I hope you can do that. If you have any problem, you can ask your teacher as well, or you can just guess. You can get the clues from there to match them too. Now the next exercise is a little bit different. It's not matching. You are going to change all those questions into reported speech yourselves, although the reporting clauses are suggested there. Now let's look at the next exercise. It's from your textbook as well. It's on page number 27, 2. It's not 1, 2. 1 we did earlier. Now we are starting number 2, right? So there are altogether 3 papers for me to do that. You can do one by one. Okay, you can look at the textbook as well. It's on page number 27, exercise B number 2. And we'll do one by one. We'll do first A and then we'll look at others. You don't need to look at all of them. You just focus on the question what we are trying to deal with, right? So I'm not going to write everything here. I'm just going to explain. Some of them I'll write, others I won't write, because you can write it yourself whenever you learn that idea to do that. Okay, Anupam says, where do you live? It's in present tense. Did you notice? And whenever the reporting verb is in present tense, we don't change the tense of that in reported form. It's a WS question, so we don't need if or whether. The reporting clause is given there. Anupam asks me. It's there, so I'm not writing that. Anupam asks me. So how do we report WS question? We just write the WH word, where. And we put the subject there. What is the subject? You. How do we change you, the second person pronoun, according to the object of the reporting clause? Object is me, so we change you into I. Do and live. They together make present tense, so we changed into past. Simple. No, it's not simple, right? It's in present tense. Do you think it's correct? It's in present tense. It's not correct, because whenever the reporting verb is in present tense, we don't change the tense. So it is just where I live. Anupam asks me where I live. Why are not we changing the tense? Because the reporting verb is in present tense. Now let's go to number 2, number B. That's also similar to number A. We are not going to change the tense, right? Because it's in present tense as well. Number B, Sanjeev says, can you solve the problem? What type of question is it? It's a yes, no question, right? So number B is the reporting clause is given there. Sanjeev asks, so either we write if or whether. In your real life, you just write one. So let's say I'm just writing if here. So if, so we need subject here. You is there, the second person pronoun. And who is Sanjeev asking? Who is Sanjeev asking? There's no object of the reporting clause. You can just imagine the object is me there. You can just imagine in your examination too, you can just write me if there is no object there. If I is changed into, according to me, I is changed into I, you is changed into I, right? And we are not going to change the tense because it's in present, right? Me if I can solve the problem. Did you notice? They are similar because we are not changing the tense, because they both have the reporting verb in present tense. The first one is WS question, so we did this, and the second one is yes no question, so we used if. The object was not there, we put the object me here, and I is changed into, you is changed into I, and we are not going to change the tense, so can is can there. So if there was asked in past tense, we could have changed this into could, right? Now number C, Probin said, does Pramila love me? Probin asked. So you can just write me here as an object. You can write other object as well. Me, Probin asked me if is there. What is the subject? Pramila. Pramila is there. Pramila. Okay. Does and love make present tense. So we change the present tense into past tense. So loved. So who is me here now? Me. Me is the first person pronoun, and the first person pronoun is changed according to the subject of the reporting clause. So what is the subject? Probin. The subject form of Probin is he. The subject form pronoun of Probin is he. And the object form, because me is there, we need to write in object form. The object form of the pronoun he is him. If Pramila loved him, right? Okay, now number D, it's very long. Dinesh said to his friends who went to Muktinath for worshipping the god. The reporting clause is given there. Dinesh asked his friends, it is given. This is WS question, so we just write who there. Now there's the problem with who question. In who question, if the answer is in subject, who went, ko gayo, Ram gayo. The answer comes there, we don't need to rearrange the words there, we just copy. So went is simple past, we change simple past into past perfect. Had gone to Muktinath for worshipping the god. You can just copy. Just notice the difference, right? Asked his friends who had gone. Simple past is changed into past perfect. And we are not rearranging that because in who question, if the answer is there at the beginning, then we don't rearrange the order of the words, right? Now let's do number E. Okay, are you getting my point? If you have any problem to understand my explanation, you can ask your teacher as well after this class or during the class, right? Number E, let's not keep it here. We are doing number E now. Nabaraj said to Saraswati, will you visit me in Australia? Okay, this one is also not a question. This is just an invitation, right? Nimta gardaisa, ma kaha bhetna आऊ है अस्ट्रेलिया आएपछि. So she is saying that. So Nabaraj told Saraswati, so you can write asked here as well. Okay, invited Saraswati as well. You can use another reporting verb as well, but here told is given. So it's not actually the question, although it looks like a question, the function is invitation. So we just write to, we use to here, to visit. So me is the subject, Nabaraj, it is changed into the third person pronoun according to the subject. Nabaraj is he, it's not she, and the object form of he is him. To visit him in Australia. You just write that. Okay, the change is this. Now number F, Julia said to Poojan, how is your husband? Julia inquired Poojan. Inquired means asked. The similar word for inquired is asked. There's no difference. How is your husband? So how is your husband is a WS question. We just write how and the subject, your husband means who is your. He is asking this question to Poojan, right? So how her husband, right? How her husband. Why her? Because this is the second person pronoun and it's in object form, and the second person pronoun is changed according to the object of the reporting clause. So there is Poojan, the pronoun for Poojan is she. She is a female here because the question is how is your husband? How is your husband? केटालाई त तिम्रो श्रीमान कस्तो छ भनेर सोधिदैन, केटीलाई सोध्ने हो, महिलालाई सोध्ने हो. So here is her here, right? So how her husband is simple present, and we have changed this into simple past was. Now number G, a stranger said to Astha, what kind of music do you like? A stranger asked Astha, what kind of music is the question word, not only what kind of music. Okay, what kind of music? So this is the question word, right? It's just like what, where. You can just write what here. If you just write what, then there will be the problem to arrange the sentence. The total question word is what kind of music. You is the subject here in the question. So this question is asked to Astha. Astha is a female. She's a girl, right? You is in second person pronoun and it's changed according to the object of the reporting clause, and you is in subject form, and the third person pronoun should also be in object form, so it should be she. What kind of music? She. And do and like make present tense, we changed into past liked. Just notice the change here, right? Okay, yes. Bharat Lal said to Firoz, aren't you applying for a grant? Aren't you applying for a grant? So it's a yes no question. Bharat Lal asked, Firoz is given there. We just write if there. So you is changed according to the object of the reporting clause, and you means if he, the, okay, so this one goes here, if he, and applying, it's in present continuous, so we change this into past continuous. It's not weren't, because we do not use were with he, we use just wasn't, applying for, okay, applying for a grant. Did you notice the changes there? Okay. If, because it's a yes no question, you is there and it is changed according to, it is changed into he according to the object of the reporting clause he, Firoz is there, and it's in object form, and it's not in object form, it's in subject form, so the word he is also in subject form. Wasn't applying, and applying means present continuous is there. Earlier you सँग चाहिँ are use भइरहेको थियो, अहिले हामीले he use गरेपछि are where use गर्दैनौं, so we have changed that word. Although it's in past tense, that's in present tense, right? And number I, it's similar. I'm not going to write this. I'm just going to tell you. Aritos said to Durgalal, aren't you in the office? Aritos asked Durgalal, it's a yes, no question. So we use if or whether. If, then the subject comes there. Durgalal is there. So you means he. We don't use weren't with he. So we use wasn't. If he wasn't in the office. And the last one, didn't you pay her? He said. He asked. The object is not given there, so let me do this. And now let's put another object, not me, right? He asked him, okay, let's do that. He asked him, we are not writing me here. There's no object, so we have just imagined that this question was asked to him, right? He asked him means he, one boy, asked the question to another boy, him. He asked him. It's a yes no question, so we use if, right? The word you is there. Now you is changed according to the object of the reporting clause. Earlier हामीले me गर्दा त I राख्ने गर्थ्यौं यतापटि. Now him is the object, so we use he, right? Didn't pay. Didn't pay is simple past. What happens with the simple past? We change this into past perfect. If he hadn't paid, it's in negative as well. So if he hadn't paid, her is her, because we don't change the third person pronoun. Okay. It's all about reporting questions. Students, I hope that you got through me, means you understood my explanation while I was doing all these tasks from your textbook. We have come to the end of the lesson, and there is one exercise in on page number 28, number 3. There's a conversation between Pemba and business person, and there are questions, statements, and the imperative type of statements as well there. Your task is, you try to report all those things into indirect speech. You work in pairs. For example, you two people work together, A and B, for example. Your name is A and your name is B, because you are going to work in pair. And the person with A report the things that Pemba says. A ले चाहिँ यहाँ दिएको conversation को Pemba ले भनेको part चाहिँ report गर्ने. So if it's a statement, सम्झिने statement कसरी report गर्ने. If it's a question, remember how a question is reported. And another person from the pair report the things by business person. So starting is given there. Starting is given there. For example, I'm just going to read the first two lines. Pemba says, good morning. Business person says, good morning. Then again Pemba, how can I help you, sir? Okay, this is the thing. And later on, there is reporting given there. Begin like this. Miss means you are reporting that conversation to your class, and your teacher is Miss. त्यहाँबाट मिसलाई सम्बोधन गर्नु पर्यो. Miss, as I entered Duke Nepal Adventure, I met a business person talking to Pemba. This is just scene setting. That is not actually the reporting, the exact words from there. Pemba greeted the business person, means what did Pemba say? Pemba said, good morning. Pemba said that good morning is not said. So why did Pemba say good morning? He said that to greet. So we use the verb greet. Pemba greeted the business person and asked how he could help him. How can I help you? The question is there. So that is reported as and asked how he could help me. So this way you report that in your pair first, and your teacher will ask you to demonstrate the whole reporting in front of the whole class. That's all for today. Do the exercises from your textbook. Do that dialogue as well. And one more task for you. Look for the questions. अंग्रेजीमा भएको क्वेशनहरु खोज्ने सानो किताबहरुमा पनि हुन्छ. You can look for the questions in your textbook as well and try to report those questions into indirect speech. And when you change the questions into indirect speech, try to change them again into direct speech as well. This way you will get ideas on how to report questions from direct speech into indirect speech and the opposite, indirect speech into direct speech. That's all for today, and I request all the teachers to guide your students as well. Please do that, because we are not providing these lessons in your absence. Means when we teach here, you should be there in your class to guide your students. That's your job. And that's all for today. Thank you very much for your attention. Tomorrow, the next day will come with another topic. Thank you. Namaskar.